Boy, he surely had a great 2007, a newcomer on the MMA scene. He finished 2007 with 7 wins and 1 loss out of Compton, California, now making his home in Honolulu, Hawaii. 22-year-old Michael Brightmon.
This kid's a stud, an excellent wrestler. Got thrown in the deep end of the pool and survived.
He is certainly cut. Michael Nzuka, this is a guy that can certainly be one of the guys in the Bowflex commercial. I mean, this guy is cut. He is chiseled out of stone.
He's definitely the after pitcher. He's on a huge, he kind of jumps up, kind of threw himself in the MMA realm. Took every fight he can get his hands on, started slowly climbing up the ranks. Now he's up to his biggest test in the Ultimate Fighter veteran. And you have veteran Anthony Torres.
Anthony the Torres, 29 years old, from Kailua, representing the MMA development team, coming in with a mark of 5-2. His last appearance was in September of 2007 when he fought in the UFC 75 in the O2 Arena in London, England. It was a tough TKO defeat to Jess Leodon. That was the card that had Rampage Jackson and Dan Henderson on it. It was kind of he left with a heavy heart because 5 days before he left for London, his baby son was born. And of course, he had to think about all of that fighting there in London. So didn't do too well there at the UFC in London, but he certainly want to come home and fight very hard and make a good impression on the Hawaii fight fans.
Exactly, a good, huge opportunity for him to be internationally known in the biggest stage of MMA.
Blaisdell continues with a scheduled three-round bout in the welterweight division. In the ring this time, the man in charge of the action, your referee, Chris West. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 171 pounds. He comes to us representing the Gorilla House, bringing along with him a record of 7 wins, 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the one, Michael Brightmon. And his opponent fighting across the ring out of the red corner, weighing in at an even 170 pounds. He comes to us by way of Kailua, representing MMA development, bringing in with him a record of 5 wins, 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Anthony the Crush Torres. 3 3-minute rounds, welterweights.
And so we take a look at the tail of the tape, and the 5-2 and 7-1 records, they kind of look even, but big difference as far as experience. Torres and the UFC veteran Brightmon only fighting here in Hawaii.
Exactly, you know, it makes a big difference for him to fight in the biggest stage with a lot of pressure. People don't realize that the Tough is such a a difficult place to fight in because it looks like it's small. Only the guys in the house are watching, but I think they realize that millions of people are watching him. Brightmon comes on, nice banging right here. Good body shots here. He's such a good wrestler too. Torres tries to go for a single leg, blocks that and brings it right back up.
Well, that's some of the hardest punches that we've seen Michael Brightmon throw to date. We've done a number of his matches. In fact, he was the X1 Grand Prix open weight tournament.
Not only fights at 170, the guy fights at any weight class, which is incredible for a guy who's such undersized against the big boys. So you can tell how strong he is. He always comes in great shape. And he came out as primary wrestler, but we've seen him now knock out guys, so we know he has a lot of power in those hands as well.
His wrestling background, he was a California State high school champion back in Compton, California.
Anthony's been ripping up on the submission grappling turn, so he definitely would like to probably take this fight to the ground and match his submission game up against Michael Brightmon's wrestling.
You mentioned Torres being a veteran of the UFC. He fought on the Ultimate Fighter 2 back in 2005, losing to Luke Como. That bout taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's also appeared on the UFC Fight Night, so a lot of experience for Torres out of Kailua, Hawaii, 29 years old. Talking to him before the fight, just happy to be back in the islands. He hasn't fought here in a while.
Exactly.
Kind of out of sight, out of mind. You kind of forget about some of the guys who are, trying to make a name for themselves on the menu.
Although he was on the shows, he didn't get a lot of airtime. I think mainly because he's such a nice guy and modest guy. Doesn't make for good TV, I guess. He's one of the controversial guys that talk a lot of trash. But he's real respectful, great guy. Nice exchanges right there. Oh, he lands on a left hook. That makes Anthony step back.
Good flurry of punches by both combatants.
See, every fight, Michael Brightmon's getting a lot more courageous in there to mix it up. And the guys that are not afraid to stand in there and bang are the guys that's most dangerous. Nice uppercut landed by Michael Brightman, followed by left hook.
Big left hook, and Torres takes a step back, and now Torres trying to get in his underhooks.
Torres is cut above his eye right here, one of those shots. Blood starting to stream down.
Oh, that is a big cut just under the eyebrow, and the blood is pouring out of his left eye. Oh, that was a big shot.
That's a bad space for a cut to right above the eye. Referee Chris is going to stop the fight to have the doctor check it out.
Oh, that was a big shot by Brightman. If we could take a look right there, you see it right under the eyebrow of the left eye, and of course, as you said, Michael, it's a very tough place because the blood dripping in your eye.
Look at that gash there.
God, it is huge.
They try to see if they can stop that bleeding right away. Let's see if we can figure out where that cut occurred here. So here's that exchange. That slicing shot. That left hook.
It might have been right there. Yeah, it might have been the left hook.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was the right hand that comes. So sometimes a lot of cuts occur when they do a grazing shot, and the seam in the glove is what slices them open. But I didn't see any blood trickling at that point. It could have been just a nice, clean shot. And sometimes there's so much, there's so little meat between that skin and the skull that just kind of cracks that skull, that skin right open, and blood just starts pouring out.
Well, for Michael Brightman, that cut above the left eye should serve as a bullseye target now for him to just kind of zero in on that. Don't really have to knock him out, don't have to submit him, but if you just make the fight stop, as Torres can't continue, a win is a win.
Exactly, and that's what he's looking for. This is going to be a huge win if he can pull this off here. Hopefully his corner is strategizing, and just all he has to do is basically rub that cut. Doesn't even have to land a shot. He just kind of pummels in and rubs that eye. That could make it worse. The cutman's having a hard time stopping that blood.
You know, Anthony Torres, when he fought there in London, he tested positive for steroids, a kind of an unfortunate thing for him, as he was released from his UFC contract, but in telling me, Michael, so he really manned up to the thing. He made a mistake, he'll learn from it, and he'll move on from here.
Exactly, it was a great, nice right hand lands again, right on that cut.
Right at it.
They trained left hands right there.
Less than 10 seconds left to go here in the opening round. Cut above the left eye of Torres, and this will go to the second round, and that's a good sign for Torres, as he'll have a minute to stem the flow of blood here going into the second round.
You got to see if that's going to escalate Torres' strategy as far as pushing the fight and try to end it early as possible so that cut doesn't get any worse. But going back to that steroid thing, you know, a lot of guys come up trying to cover it up. They don't admit it, and they came clean, kind of put it out there. He made a mistake. It's a good opportunity for him to fight on an international stage, you know, and then, of course, having the baby, I'm sure financial reasons come into it. He kind of did what he did, kind of took what came to him and kind of moved on, which is shows, you know, how much of a man he is.
Yeah, he really struggled with it because of the birth of his child. He knew that he took the steroids to heal an injury, and you're getting it up close and personal. This is not the learning channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is real life stuff here, as the blood flow seems to be just stopped for the moment, but that's just until maybe Michael Brightman can get another glove right on that cut.
That's huge swelling on top of that cut too, which probably makes it even harder to stop. Hopefully it's swelling it shut, but you can see it kind of smiling at us there, that cut.
Coming into this fight, Torres told me he didn't know too much about Brightman being away so long, but what he said is he'll try to get up on Brightman, and kind of live up to that nickname of Crush. He got that from Rich Franklin on the Ultimate Fighter series.